Hey, good morning, friends. Scott Brookins here. Hope you're having a great day and a great week. And whenever you see this, whether you see this later as a recording, I just hope that things are going well for you and you're going through life as God plans for you to go through. You ever have one of those what now moments or what now days or maybe a week or month? I think we all do, right? We set our plans of what we want to happen. Maybe it's a vacation, maybe it's a trip somewhere, maybe it's plans for our career or whatever it might be. We lay our plans out, which we're supposed to do, and then things happen, right? Things change. And so how do we react? How do we say, okay, now what, or what now? Do we get angry? Sure, I've done that. Do we get frustrated? Yep, check. Do we want to quit sometimes? Yes. Do we want to run away maybe from our problems if things have gone wrong? Sure. At least I've been guilty of all those. And those aren't necessarily bad reactions. Those are just our reactions of who we are and what goes on in our life. And but what if we learn to say, okay, change, plans changed, something changed. Okay, what now, Lord? Instead of saying, what now, Lord, or what now, Lord, being angry, just saying, okay, if I believe in God and believe that He has the best for me and has plans set out for me that He wants me to do, though my free will works into that and how I do those plans and whether I follow through or not. But how about if we just said, okay, things changed. What now, Lord? And I want to give you an example and not to, this is just something that happened to my family and I many years ago. I think it was the year 2000. We were planning to do our second mission trip as a family to Eastern Europe. I had been in 1996. We went as a family for 5 weeks in 1998, and now with more invitations in 2000, we were going to go for 5 months. And so we had, I'd worked for about 2 years to get connections, follow up on people we met the time before. And so we planned our trip to start in Romania because of the connections from our other two trips there. And then I had some connections that 5 months later, at the end of January of 2001, we were going to fly back home from Poland, from Warsaw. And so, we purchased the airline tickets. We were committed to 5 months living on the road. We put everything in storage that we had here in town, and we packed our suitcases and the school books for our kids. They were our son was 10, our daughter was 7, and we didn't have all of those months filled in, but we had maybe the first month or two very solid connections of where we were going to be on this date, and then we'd travel and we'd go here. And then we trusted that God was going to fill in like December. We had no idea what we were going to do for the Christmas time. But then we had about 2 weeks in January to end up in Poland. So we're ready to go. The day we are to leave, I check email, and the pastors in Poland that had arranged these times in January canceled. They emailed me and said, we can't have you. And I don't remember what they said. It wasn't very much of an explanation. It was just like, we can't have you. I don't know if they didn't want us or whatever, but the plans changed, and we weren't scheduled in Poland anymore in January in 5 months from now. And we were leaving this day. We were getting ready to fly from Denver. It was probably about 5 in the morning, getting ready to head to the airport. And so I told Laura about this, and we started to pray because it's like, what now? What do we do? We could go and for about a month because we had some certain plans for that time, and then for 4 of us, it would have cost a couple $100 for each ticket. So almost, $800, $900 to cancel the return trip and reschedule it. And we prayed, okay, should we do that? I mean, we don't have any money. We don't have the $200 a piece to cancel that, though we didn't have the plans settled. But God really put it on our hearts for Laura and I to stick with the 5 months and trust Him and see what He was going to do. And that was not easy. I don't think we told Laura's parents that were taking us to the airport what had happened. We didn't have time to email our supporters, the little email list we had back then, and we just went and trusted that God was going to take care of us and lead us to where He wanted us to be. And it wasn't easy. I mean, these plans didn't just poof, and become available. But it took a lot of work, a lot of prayer, obviously, but a lot of emails and phone calls and pastors we were with in one area saying, me asking, who do you know in this town? We need to get to, this country by this date. How can we connect? And it was an amazing, especially looking back, how God pieced those 5 months together and took care of us, gave us places to stay, whether it was a room in a church or people we were ministering with. He provided meals. He provided the income that we needed, to pay for the train tickets to get from each country. And the thing that really was amazing is that a lot of those connections were the reason we moved 2 years later to Europe for, what we thought permanently, but for a year that we committed and rented an apartment there. So it was because of those empty scheduling, those empty dates, that we trusted God that He would provide for us. And so I just want to encourage you that, things happen. And, things happen in our lives today or yesterday, or they will tomorrow, where plans change. And maybe careers change and ministry directions change or family changes. And we need to adjust to that, because that's what life is, right? It's life. And sometimes it's not easy, or a lot of times it's not easy. But we do have a God that loves us, and we do have a God that is in control, and we do have a God that we can put our faith and trust in. And so I want to encourage you, as things change in your life and you have those what now moments, that you put your trust in God and say, okay, now what, Lord? What now? What do you want me to do? And kind of take a deep breath and relax and go do the work, but give Him your trust. And so I want to leave us with a couple verses out of Psalm. The first one is in Psalm 31, verse 24. And it says, "Be strong and take heart, all you who have hope in the Lord." Be strong, take heart, all of you that have hope in the Lord. And then the next one is in Psalm 62, verse 5. It says, "Find rest, O my soul, in God alone. My hope comes from Him." So when we go through these challenges in life, when we have these now what moments, we can put our rest in God and trust that we can hope in Him. We can trust that He's looking out for us, that He's going to guide us on the path that He wants us to go on. We just need to take the steps and step out in faith and step out in confidence. Take a risk. It's not easy, but trust that God is right there with us. And so I hope this is encouraging to you. It is to me, as I go through challenges and have my now what moments today, just to remember how God brought us through other times in our past. And you can do that too. God has given us a history, right? And we can learn from that, both good and bad. And so I hope you'll remember when God is taking you through the forest, maybe, or your now what moments, and He's guided you to maybe just amazing greener pastures and some awesome opportunities. And we can trust that He'll do that again. So I hope you'll like and share this, and I hope you have an amazing day and go inspire others to do the same. God bless.